Welcome to my Carlsbad Caverns National Park video.
Alright. Heading to the caverns. I was driving in. It's probably about a 20-minute drive in from the main road. These trees are like so cool. It's like sticks with these little tiny leaves on them. Anyways, when I was driving in on the main road, when I drive out, I'll have to get some video of it, but there was just a massive amount of, there must have been a massive amount of, flash flooding that was going on here because there was massive amounts of mud along the sides of the road, tons of debris in the trees. I'll have to get some videos of it. Anyways. It looks like this is the entrance to get down into the caves. We call this the Bat Amphitheater. The assumption is must be a ton of bats that come in and out of here, but it's super cool. So I was just talking to the ranger, and he showed me a video of the flash flooding. It was nuts. Oh my gosh, it was crazy. I guess they had to shelter in place for like 10 hours. They weren't allowed to go anywhere or do anything. Crazy.
So as I started to descend into kind of this opening, kind of the mouth of the cave, the smell was pretty strong. There was a lot of birds, bats, kind of flying around that opening of the cave. It was strong. The smell was strong. They call this the natural entrance. There's also an elevator in the visitor center, the main entrance to Carlsbad National Park. But that elevator was actually not functioning the day that I was there, so everyone had to go in and out using the natural entrance. So to give you an idea, this is the visitor center here, and this is the cave entrance. And I am, at this point, I'm just right at the bottom of that. So I'm in Carlsbad Caverns National Park. And they have an elevator that takes you down into the park, but I went the natural way. Super cool to walk down into here. Super cool. So the first part of this hike down into the cave, you descend into kind of an area that is semi-flat. But you descend down into there. There's still quite a bit of light coming in from the cave opening.
I'm walking along, and that's the entrance I came in from. Stop. There's like birds and stuff flying all over the place. Probably bats as well, but
So we came to an area called the Dark Zone, and apparently there is a lot of different animals, birds, and such that find shelter and stay in the opening of the cave. But the further into the cave, the animals don't go any further. So to ensure that these animals don't go any further into the cave, they actually keep this area of the cave really dark. So as I descend into this cave, one of the main things that I realize is that water plays a big part in not only forming this cave, but creating all of the stalactites and stalagmites. Everywhere in this cave is damp and wet. And one of the most interesting things is there's just a motion of air as you're walking. Not like fast motion, but there's definitely a movement of air as you're walking. At this point, there is just switchbacks that continue to take you deeper and deeper into the cave. I believe they call this the Devil's Spring, but it's not actually a spring. It's just dripping water from the ceiling and everywhere that's just pooling.
So you're just dropping and dropping and dropping. Not doing much video. My camera's about to, my phone's about to die, so I'm not gonna be able to record much, but we'll see.
So as I continue to descend, which by the way, I believe I descend to get to that kind of the heart of the cave. It's over 700 feet down. I thought I read something that was 900 feet, but I've seen conflicting information. Anyways, continuing to descend and descend into this cave, come across a location where there's this massive rock that I believe it said that like half a million years ago it collapsed from the ceiling, and they said it's 200,000 ton rock, enormous rock that just collapsed from the ceiling. They say that that's very, very common. As the ceiling kind of collapses, it creates kind of an arch in the ceiling, and that becomes a very strong supportive mechanism, I guess, to hold everything up. So in the picture on this sign, you can see that the stalactites are kind of going at an angle. Apparently they survived that fall of that 200,000 ton iceberg rock. Kind of crazy. Right here you can see the old staircase that people actually went in and out of the cave. I think it was back in the 20s, I believe. So about 100 years ago. Kind of crazy. So apparently that what you're seeing right there, it's called sponge work. And I guess it forms when fresh water and seawater mix and creates a sulfuric acid, which erodes the rock. I thought that was really interesting, really crazy. Tells you how much lower this area was at one point. So when it comes to creating these caves, I've always just been under the impression that it's 100% water dissolving the rock and creating these amazing stalactites and stalagmites, but it's obvious that the mixing of seawater and fresh water to creating this sulfuric acid, that's actually doing the carving of the cave. Obviously there's a large part of this that as water drips, it creates the stalactites and stalagmites. But it's interesting how this concept of sulfuric acid is so a large contributor in carving this cave out. So these three stalagmites are the largest stalagmites that are in this cave, and these are simply created by one drip at a time over the course of many, 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 many years. This is such an amazing location. Just check out the size of these stalagmites. Just incredible. Pictures just don't really do it justice. The size of these rooms and the size of these stalagmites, just unbelievable. So one of the things that I thought was interesting is there's kind of 3 levels of this cave. Each of the levels is very, very different. Some are much, much deeper. But they say that over the course of hundreds of millions of years, these caves have been created. So this cave is in the Guadalupe Mountains, which obviously sits very high. So it's been pushed up over the years to create these different levels. Above the big room, there's areas that still have not been explored. This ladder you are seeing is actually a ladder from the early expedition that explored this cave, which eventually led it to become Carlsbad National Monument. Very, very cool. Don't know that I would be willing to jump on a ladder like that and explore, but that's all they had back then. Very, very cool. Some of these rock formations, just unbelievable. So pretty. And then came to a spot, I believe it's called the Bottomless Pit. I was feeling a little anxious at this time because my phone was dying, so didn't get a lot of pictures. I almost got to the end of the loop that went through the big room area. Almost finished with that when my phone died. After that, I hiked back up and out about 1.25 miles in. I believe it's about 1.3 miles to do the big room loop, and then it was 1.25 miles out. So altogether, I believe I hiked a little over 4 miles, going to and from the visitor center. Incredible, and really glad that I took the time to do this hike. So doing this big room loop, I was coming back through areas of the cave that I had already seen. I was just on the opposite side of the room. So again, seen a lot of this stuff. I was happy that I got pictures of most of it, even if it was only on the other side of the room. But these are some of the last pictures right before my phone died. So enjoy them. One thing I will say is that I actually did this hike right after I hiked to the tallest point in Texas, which is actually about, as the crow flies, it's probably about 15 miles from Carlsbad Caverns. In a car, I think it took me about 35-mile drive, but anyways, unbelievable. After I got done, I went and checked out the areas that I had seen the flash flooding in, so enjoy.
Not sure if you can see that down there, but that dark area, there was a flash flood, and I guess like massive river basically was just flowing all through that area. So you can see that this whole place was just a river. So the park ranger was showing me a video, and obviously he was up on this road up above here, but this whole side of the road, you can see the debris all through here. This whole side of the road was just literally a massive river. Walk to the other side of this road, and this whole side of the road as well. Like, look, you can see the debris all the way up to here, and back there, like, it flowed right across the road. So this whole section, look at that tree, is just covered in debris. Literally all the way over to the edge over there. This was just one big raging river, and it was going on both sides of the road. Massive flash flood, and I guess it happened on Saturday. Today's Monday, so just 2 days ago. Crazy.
So I borrowed some of these clips from another YouTuber, but man, you should go check out his video. I put his channel name up on the screen. It's unbelievable. He's got like 20 plus minutes of this crazy flash flood. Anyways, I borrowed some of it. Hope he doesn't mind. Again, I'm putting his YouTube channel up there, but it was pretty dang incredible. I hope you enjoyed this video. Carlsbad Cavern was spectacular. I really enjoy that type of thing. And that evening, an opportunity to witness an unbelievable rainbow, and then shortly after, an unbelievable sunset. So If you enjoyed this, give me a thumbs up. And again, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Appreciate it. Thank you.